is Late Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. And senior news analyst L.A. Tyrone.
The chairman and vice chairman of the Hazleton Zoning Board resigned tonight, and it's our top story. Good evening. This is WYLN's Late Edition for Thursday, November 21st, 2013. I'm Ann Gownley. One had served 13 years through 2 administrations. The other one 16 years through 3 administrations. Tonight, both walked away. L.A. Tyrone has more.
2 veteran members of the Hazleton City Zoning Board resigned their seats tonight. Chairman John Pilecki and Vice Chairman Ray Bass did so after what they say was the Yannuzzi administration's unilateral overturning of a decision the board made. Now, earlier, it had denied approval for Lex Sloot to allow a Tamaqua-based youth group to use a portion of his former Printmark building on Poplar Street in the Heights. While the group was planning youth activities somewhat similar to what is already being done by the Hazleton Integration Project, that group is affiliated with a church which might have had services there from time to time. That part of the Heights is still zoned industrial, so the board rejected the application. Now, the normal procedure when someone loses a zoning board case is to appeal to county court, and you've got 45 days to do so. Pilecki and Bass said if all one has to do after losing a decision is make a phone call to Connections, there's no reason for a board.
We've never had any interference from any city administration. I've served 16 years through 3 different administrations, and no administration has ever interfered with the zoning board, have ever influenced us or asked us to vote a certain way. And when we handled this case in the legal and proper way, he was denied. And when he did not go through the appeal process the proper way, the legal and proper way, we felt that this was a slap in the face to us.
I have integrity, and I look at every decision that I make to the best of my abilities for the situation according to the zoning regulations of the City of Hazleton. I don't hold any favors for anybody. I've turned down relatives before. So it's my principles are worth a lot to me, and it was a tough decision I had to make.
Mayor Joe Yannuzzi was unable to appear on camera tonight, but on the phone he told me he did not reverse the decision. He said City Solicitor Chris Slusser, citing what he termed legal precedent, said the board erred in its decision as rejecting a church in certain zoning areas is impossible. Yannuzzi also said that since the decision was in error, Sloot didn't have to return to the board for a decision. It became the purview of the city zoning officer, Rick Weck. It was he, Yannuzzi said, who made the decision. Yannuzzi also said he hasn't seen Pilecki and Bast's resignations. Nothing like this has happened in recent city history. L.A. Tyrone, WYLN's Late Edition.
Well, tonight, before John Pilecki's and Ray Bass resignations on the Hazleton Zoning Board, there was business to be dealt with an approval by the Zoning Board. Work will begin tomorrow morning at the former St. Joseph's Hospital. It was back in September of this year that we told you about a nursing school and nursing home moving into the former St. Joseph's Hospital on Church Street. After tonight, it will become a reality beginning as early as tomorrow morning. In May, the Claremont Group from New York purchased the building and began designs. Tonight, Administrator and Operations Manager Kate Day sat before the Zoning Board. She explained to us after the approval what the facility has to offer.
What we're looking to do is have the nursing school on the ground floor, a lot of resident rooms to accommodate all sorts of senior citizens. I want it to be a loving community. I don't want to abide by state minimums. I want to go up to the max of what we can do for these residents. All sorts of activities and community functions, and really be a happy place, some place that you would want to put your parents, or some place that you would say, Grandma would love this.
Day says they will begin work tomorrow, but for a final goal, they have not set one yet. She says the ultimate goal is to restore the facility to make it beautiful again. The building will be redone in 3 phases.
The ground floor of that is going to be the nursing school. It's perfect. It has huge classrooms already set up, and the top 2 floors of that will be the assisted living personal care type for the elders. The second phase would be moving into the X-shaped large hospital. What that's going to entail is the first floor as renting it out to different doctors or facilities, such as I mentioned before, a barber shop, things of that nature, to really bring life to the community in that end of town and to the residents. And from floors, we'll also do floor 2 at that time for the residents. The third phase would be moving up to the top floors 3, 4, and 5. And over time, as the need gets stronger, we'll do more and more renovations and just keep growing and making it more of a beautiful thing.
Like Day said, there will be additional office space available when renovations are completed. 3 people who live around the hospital questioned how it would affect them and their neighbors. Day says when it comes to parking and the amount of traffic, they will not have to worry.
We have 168 parking spaces, and it's not a concern that we're going to be parking in front of people's houses. And the people that asked the question seemed really satisfied with that, and it's really going to be a positive thing for the community. I don't think you could find a better fit for that building.
Again, work is expected to begin tomorrow on the former hospital. We will keep you updated as the project continues. After a vote at Hazleton City Council tonight, there will be a $500,000 hole in the 2014 budget unless they can find a way to fill it. With a vote of 4-1, City Council failed the 2013-14 Stormwater Collection and Management Plan fee. The fee was to be $25 per equivalent runoff unit, so if you owned half an acre, you would pay the city $102 annually, 1 acre $204, and so on. Vice President of Council Keith Bast voted for the fee. We spoke with Council President Jim Perry.
If it would have been done in the middle of the year, it might have been a different story. We'd have more detail. Now I think you're pushing it through. I don't think you can collect anything. I really at this point think my reason is you wouldn't be able to, you put it in there, you wouldn't be able to collect it in time to make a difference. I mean, you're at the last month here, or by the time it gets going, and the time you get a collection agency out there, I just think it should have been done a lot earlier.
Councilmember Jack Mundy agrees with Perry that this fee should have been looked at earlier in the year, and now he, Bass, Gene Mope, and newcoming Councilman Dave Sosar and Jeff Cassat must find a way to fill that budget hole.
This is going to create a big problem, and the previous majority that voted for it, which was Perry, Bast, and Shatter, originally put it in the budget, and they should have passed it earlier. They didn't. They passed the budget around that money, and now that money's not there, so we're going to have a hole for this year and also for next year. So I think Steve's going to have to redo even the budget for next year. I'd had some ideas of possibly replacing it with something. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I have some ideas of I wanted to possibly replace it with something, and now it's not going to even be there. So we're already starting out with $500,000 deficit.
Acting City Administrator Steve Hahn said at the meeting that this fee is necessary for the budget to be balanced. Now the city must find a new alternative, or the newly appointed council must work with the existing council to come up with a solution. We're a governor's signature away from paying more for driver's licenses, registrations, vehicle and emission inspections, and almost everything else related to driving. The State House passed the transportation funding bill tonight. The vote was 113 to 85. Most regional state representatives voted against it. Only David Millard, Karen Boback, Kurt Masser, and Linda Culver voted for it. The bill raises $2.6 million for transportation. While sold as a fix for roads and bridges, only about $1.6 billion is used for that. The balance will be spent on urban mass transit and a handful of other projects. Under driver's licenses, registrations, and the rest start rising in price in 2015 and rise every 2 years from there on out, with no cap and no end date. The bill will also raise gas taxes through the repeal of a cap on wholesale tax. It is expected to raise the cost of a gallon of gas by 28 cents over the next few years. The bill spends more than Governor Corbett originally wanted, but indications are he will sign it. Former State Senator Ray Musto has been hit with a new indictment. This one accuses him of having taken a $1,000 bribe from a municipal official days before voting for an $11 million loan to that municipality. The indictment says it happened in October of 2006. This indictment replaces one used to charge him in November of 2010. Musto's attorneys have argued for an indefinite delay of any trial, saying he is too frail to withstand the vigorous of one. State Senator John Udechak proposed legislation to reduce the size of Penn State's Board of Trustees yesterday at a Capitol press conference. State Senator John Udicak is a Penn State University alumni. In the aftermath of the Jerry Sandusky scandal, he says the Board of Trustees is facing its greatest challenge as a public institution of higher education. Senator Jake Corman of Bellefonte, who represents the State College area, requested the legislation.
The Penn State community is divided as it has never been before. Commonwealth taxpayers are concerned with the growing cost to the university, which now stands at over $172 million, and perhaps most damaging, public confidence in the current governance structure of the Board of Trustees to effectuate meaningful change and reform has been completely eroded.
Currently, the Board of Trustees is made up of 30 voting members. Udicak says those members are out of step with the major public research universities across the country. Adding the other Big Ten schools average only 11 voting members and national average of 16. According to the American Council of Trustee and Alumni, large voting boards tend to be less effective. Udicak is proposing that it reduces the amount of trustees from 30 to 23.
The board composition would be 25 members, 23 voting members. 8 will be selected at alumni elections, 5 governor appointments, 5 business and industry appointments by a new selection committee of the Board of Trustees, and the Secretary of Education and Agriculture will become non-voting members of the board. The governor, the lieutenant governor, all the state road officers, the university president, and the Secretary of DCNR will all be removed from the board.
Udicak says with 30 members, it presents too many opportunities for power to be vested in a small group at the expense of a full and constructive engagement by the entire Board of Trustees.
The Pennsylvania State University Board of Trustees Reorganization Act that we're going to unveil today will continue the storied 158-year-old partnership between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and Penn State University by enshrining in state law the necessary board governance reforms that will create a Board of Trustees that is more engaged, more efficient, more inclusive, more accountable, and ultimately more effective stewards of the public mission of Penn State University.
There will also be a trustee selection committee, which Udicak says is an important development.
Would be created by each constituency on the board, the alumni, the governor appointments, the ag community, the business and industry community, and the chair of the board, all selecting their appointments to that board. So the alumni representative on that selection committee would be selected by the alumni members of the board. And the same would go for each of the constituencies.
For more information, you may log on to senatorudicak.com. A lawsuit was filed Thursday by a man who testified in the Jerry Sandusky trial. The suit from John Doe number 4, also known as victim number 9, was filed Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas. It claims assault and battery against former assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. It also claims that he wouldn't have been assaulted had the university officials reported Sandusky to authorities. The chief executive officer of the Greater Wilkes-Barre Chamber of Business and Industry has resigned. William Moore moved here from Connecticut in May of 2012 to replace Todd Vonderheide. The chamber will be conducting a search to hire a new CEO to fill Moore's position. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development inspection report on the Sherman Hills apartment complex has been released. The 20-page report uncovered the complex had an inoperable surveillance system, broken windows, overgrown vegetation, and exterior lights that are not turned on. According to the report, tenants are forced to cover the windows with blankets and towels. Hallway floors have broken tiles, sidewalks are broken, security cameras were not functioning, and entrance doors do not shut properly. Sherman Hills has experienced numerous violent crimes and shootings during the past year. The owner's Park Management Incorporated has 30 days to respond. As we reported to you yesterday, there was a brutal assault committed by Emmanuel Paulino of West Hazleton. The 27-year-old victim involved in the attack is said to be in stable condition. She is being treated at Geisinger-Wyoming Valley Hospital in Plains Township. Police state that she underwent intensive surgery after the attack and is expected to survive. Paulino remains in jail on $250,000 bail. He is awaiting a preliminary hearing scheduled before District Judge James Dixon on November 27th. This morning, a pharmacy in Wilkes-Barre received two very big and important loans. Gary Perna has the details.
Harold's Pharmacy in Wilkes-Barre received two NEPA loans in the amount of $175,000 each, one from the Economic Development Administration and the other from Regional Commission Loans Fund, to open their new state-of-the-art facility.
The loan that Bruce received from us is from two of our federal programs at less than 3% interest for job creation and retention in our region. We do about $3 million in loans annually to small business around our region. A typical loan for us is in the $300,000 range, but we have programs with the Small Business Administration 504 program where we can loan up to $5.5 million.
Harold's Pharmacy is a third-generation full-service pharmacy owned and operated by Bruce Lefkowitz. They have been in business for over 65 years. Bruce was very happy to see the new pharmacy up and running.
This building was sitting here for about 12 years abandoned. Our pharmacy was at our old location, which is about 2 blocks away, for 66 years. My grandfather started the pharmacy in 1947, and we just were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to move. The business expanded, and at our current location, we just really couldn't grow like we needed to grow. We had secured some monies through Luzerne Bank, and that was fabulous, and they were very easy to work with. But we just did not have enough money to complete the project, and that's where NEPA came in. And they were unbelievable to work with. They made the project happen. We just had come up short with the monies that we needed, and we applied for the loan, and they worked closely with us, and they just made it happen.
The loans were made possible through the NEPA Alliance, a regional community and economic development agency serving 7 counties in northeastern Pennsylvania. For more information on them, you can check out their website at nepa-alliance.org. Harold's Pharmacy is located at 2502 Old River Road in Wilkes-Barre. In Wilkes-Barre, for WILN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
A township in our area welcomed 2 new plow trucks today, just in time for the winter season. Hazel Township Road Department took delivery of these 2 trucks. The dump trucks will be used as well this winter to clean the roads in the township. We spoke with Andy Benyo, a supervisor in the township.
Yeah, we just bought 2 new Macs. The bigger one on your left as you're facing it is for up in the Humboldt Industrial Park, and the truck on the right is going to be used in the Pardeesville, Hollywood, Chapel Hill section. The wing blades were installed just to cover more area in less time. When you're up in the Humboldt Industrial Park, he had to come back twice to load up to go back to re-cinder and salt and plow or whatever. This way that truck is capable of doing the entire park in one load.
Benyo says this brings the township plow force up to 13 trucks.
Cover and how many trucks?
Well, there's 52 square miles is what the township is comprised of, and we have approximately 80, give or take, miles of roads, which tallies in 160 lane miles, and we have 13 trucks if we can find drivers for all of them.
Benyo told us with the addition of the trucks, this should save some time when the drivers are out on the road. By the way, the total for the trucks, $447,000. Today, volunteers from many different companies throughout the area lent a helping hand with packing bags that will be handed out for Thanksgiving. Hundreds of bags lined the tables at Queen of Heaven Church in Hazleton this morning. We found volunteers from Blue Cross and National Penn Bank, among others, helping out.
Blue Cross gives each employee 16 hours of volunteer time to use in their communities a year. There are projects ongoing throughout the year in all the communities we serve, Lackawanna, Luzerne, United Way agencies, libraries. We read to children, we pack food bags, we do yard work, we plant trees, whatever the organization needs. And each of us can choose which organization we wish to volunteer for.
There's about 9 of us here today from National Penn Bank. We like to be very involved in the community, and the Commission of Economic Opportunity is one of the organizations that we volunteer for. And every year they express a need for volunteers to help package bags for Thanksgiving dinner, and so we're helping out today.
The volunteers said they are happy to lend a helping hand and hope that those receiving the food this season have a wonderful holiday season. Earlier today, the 2014 class for Leadership Hazleton took over the Hazleton campus of Luzerne County Community College on Broad Street, where they learned about media and communications, one of 9 classes the group takes throughout the year. Leadership Hazleton is an affiliate of the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce, where those participating develop leadership, social, team building, and professional skills, all while learning how to give back to the area. Today, a number of professional members of the Hazleton area business community spoke to the 14 in the leadership class, including myself and Beth Mensinger. WYLN spoke to Executive Director of the program, Joseph Clark.
Dave Hopp of Precision Design was the facilitator for today's program, and he led off this morning with writing press releases and marketing tools, and then the class got to tour his facilities on the 3rd floor of this building. And then some of Geisinger Health Systems came and talked about social media, and that's basically what the 2 young ladies from YLN are doing this afternoon. They're going to talk about social media and the effects it has on their reporting and how they get their information. I know both Ann and Beth use it to a great deal in some of the stories that they have produced in the last couple of years.
Before the class is able to graduate in May, they must also complete a service project for the Hazleton area. This year, they decided to help build a pavilion for the Greater Hazleton YMCA to use for their summer programs. Leadership Hazleton is always looking for new members.
It's a great investment. They're really, and we're teaching them to give back to the Hazleton community. You know, everybody knows the economic downturn, and nonprofits are looking for help. Leadership Hazleton can help with projects. You know, we just refurbished the Helping Hands playground last year, which was a great project for us and for Helping Hands. So we're here to help the community and to give back.
If you'd like to find out more information about Leadership Hazleton, you can visit the program's website at leadershiphazleton.org. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik outside in our Bedrock Gardens Weather Center. Joe?
Thank you very much, Ann. A little bit chilly here in the backyard. A couple of sprinkles every now and then. I can feel them as they come down, but I tell you what, the weather we've been having the last couple of days, even tonight's temperatures, they're going to feel kind of nice and mild as compared to what's on the move. Speaking of what's on the move, here's a look at the national map, and you can clearly see for yourself that there is a frontal boundary just out toward the west. That's the leading edge between the milder weather and the colder weather. Look at Bismarck. It's only 0 degrees. Denmark. That would not be in the United States, would it? No. Denver coming in with 13 degrees. That's a much colder air with that front. That front's going to come in our direction. I'll let you know when. Coming up next.
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle.
For all of your diamond quality moments, choose Sophie Jewelers, specializing in custom diamond engagement rings, located in the Coal Creek Plaza, Route 61, St. Clair.
Welcome to Robert Stevens Face and Body, Hazleton's complete skincare center. Here, our licensed specialists will consult with you to discuss your skincare needs, rejuvenate you with our special facial treatments, and apply gentle, relaxing massages to melt your tension away, using all state-of-the-art technical treatments and superior skin products. So call today and let the transformation begin at Robert Stevens Face and Body, 788-7546.
Why should you choose Penn State Hazleton?
We have new scholarship money.
There's no application fee.
When you visit campus.
Opportunities to do research. Students are scoring internships
all over the country.
You can start here and finish here.
Or at another Penn State campus.
We have fun.
We have the Lion.
Penn State is ranked #1 by corporate recruiters.
We have the largest alumni network
in the world.
It's your time. Penn State.
Penn State lives here.
Check us out at psu.edu/visit-Hazleton.
Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week at Heritage, SureFine frozen turkey, 49 cents a pound with a $35 purchase.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. What if you want to vote, you try to vote, and you can't get into your polling place? Suppose you're an injured veteran, an elderly person, or a person with MS. Well, we're joined by two educators from Misericordia University who have produced a documentary about accessibility in polling places. This week on The Storm, only on WYLN TV.
Well, before I was talking about Denmark, and I'm saying in the United States, I just actually did a little research. There actually is a Denmark in the United States, so I guess I wasn't wrong by saying Denmark in the U.S. It's actually in South Carolina, a little place called Denmark, South Carolina. But hey, tell you what, look at this national map, and we have some significant temperature changes to talk about. Ahead of the front, you can clearly see temperatures. We got 40s, we got 50s, we got 60s and 70s down toward the south. But if you notice out toward the west, this is where that frontal boundary is. Just to the west of that, temperature is only in the 20s, in the teens, and in Bismarck coming in with just 0 degrees. That front is going to start to head in our direction as we start going into tomorrow and as we head into tomorrow night as well. Live 35 Skycast Doppler. A few sprinkles, a few showers across parts of our viewing area, and I think as we go through tonight, a couple of more sprinkles, a couple of more showers, maybe even a few snowflakes and some rain and snow showers mixed. And again tomorrow, some more showers will overspread our region as the front moves through. Our live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton, 41 degrees, pressure coming in at 30.29 inches of mercury. And there you can see the winds averaging about 5 to as much as 10 miles per hour. Our Robert Stevens Face and Body Almanac page for the day, 40 and 25, 47 and 32 are the averages, 72 and 14. The record high and low, they still stand, 659, 441. Sunrise and sunset for tomorrow. So we woke up this morning, it was definitely cold, generally temperatures in the 20s, and throughout the daytime hours getting up into the 40s in most locations. There's been a few locations that did struggle, in fact, to make it out of the 30s for daytime highs. 40 degrees now in New Angola, 43 in Berwick, 42 in Bloomsburg, 43 degrees in Monoy City, and 42 degrees in Danville. Satellites and radar. You could see the precipitation across parts of the Northeast and the northern tier of Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and as you head out toward the Ohio Valley region, we do have some rain and some showers overspreading those particular areas. And before all is said and done, we're going to have to deal with some showers across our region as we go into tomorrow, as the front starts to make its way through our area. And then as we go into tomorrow night, it's going to be getting much colder, so maybe a few rain and snow showers mixed, maybe just some plain snow showers as well as temperatures really start to fall. And then Saturday at this time, looks like it should remain dry across our region as the front will have passed through, but it will have already brought in some much colder air and seasonably cold air, well below where we should be for this time of year. Tonight, though, temperatures will stay above freezing, some showers around. Some of them could mix with a few snowflakes. And tomorrow, these are going to be temperatures that are early on, because throughout the day temperatures will continue to fall. On the extended forecast brought to you by the wire guys at Division of Arc Electric, here's what we can expect over the next few days. Much colder as we go into Saturday, 37, only in the 20s as we head into Sunday and Monday. Hey, a snow shower or two around for Tuesday, some scattered snow showers for Wednesday. Looks like there'll be a storm system, but at this point it should stay away from our area. So that's the good news, and only in the mid to upper 20s for Thanksgiving. Evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers, the daily 352, the big 4, 7422. Quinto numbers 95333 and cash 5 8 26 27 28 and 37. Stick around. We'll have more late edition including sports after these commercial messages.
Meet Kate. She seems like an ordinary girl, goes to an ordinary school, and is part of an ordinary family. But there is something you don't know about her. Kate's dad lost his job a while back, and her family has to make tough decisions. And sometimes that means no money for food. This makes Kate's tummy hurt. 1 in 5 children in our country struggles with hunger. But there is hope. Your local food bank is able to provide food for your neighbors in need, like Kate and her family. And that makes Kate's tummy feel good.
Edgewood in the Pines, located in Drums, provides the perfect scenery in any season to complement your wedding or special event. From the spectacular colors of fall, a cozy winter setting, or the plush greens of summer, Edgewood will provide a breathtaking setting for your exceptional affair. Edgewood is perfect for weddings, birthday celebrations, showers, baptism, or any special event. From small intimate gatherings to breathtaking formal affairs, your event is certain to be an amazing experience to remember for years to come. Celebrate at Edgewood in the Pines.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. For chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and trophy trout fishermen, which is why we've built our new Discoverer AT3 for all traction, all terrain, all the time performance. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
This is my office. I have a mailbox at the UPS store. It's across the street. Nearby. Can't beat the rent.
They text me or send me an email when I have a package. I like my office at the UPS store.
The 10th annual Sounds of the Season will be held December 7th at the Alice C. Wilsey Performing Arts Center. Ring in the holidays with performances by the Hazleton Philharmonic Orchestra under the direction of Robert Lagana, the Freeland Community Choir directed by Jackie Wetzel, local pan flute artist Paul Goldhart, and soprano soloist Sarah Gardner. Doors open at 6 p.m. Advance tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children, plus applicable fees. Sounds of the Season, Ring in the Holidays is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
They won the Wyoming Valley Conference title in 2012 and then once again in 2013. But can the Hazleton area Cougars make it a three-peat? We stopped by their practice today during the first official week of the season to see how things are kicking off. And with the group of kids returning to the court from last year's squad, the expectations are running pretty high. We talked to head coach Mike Joseph.
Well, we had a really good year. We came back and won the Wyoming Valley Conference last year, and we had to do that after losing some early games to Crestwood and Wyoming Valley West, and we have a core group of guys back from that team, led by Sal Biazzi, who was third-team All-State last year. Kyle Karmarek, this will be his fourth year in the program. So we have a core group of guys, Brett Barron, Will Herrero, Hunter Samick, John Fogarty, Chris Woodring, that all played a lot of minutes last year in that Wyoming Valley Conference run for a championship. So I'm confident how hard those guys worked and that they're ready to defend that title and go on. We haven't played in the spotlight of the district championship in a few years. That is our goal.
And while varsity minutes on the court last year helps to get players more comfortable for this year, Joseph said there's always room for improvement, and for this squad, it's on the defensive side.
It's so important to have guys that have, played under fire, played in front of big crowds, played when games meant something. It ended up last year where after we lost those 2 games to Crestwood and Valley West, if we wanted to play in a championship game, every game, from that point on, the last 8 games was like a playoff game for us. And they answered the bell. We went up to Valley West. And I think up at Valley West we had as good a performance as we've had in the last couple of years. We went up there, we scored 90 points, did a great job. Even though they scored 70 points, I thought we were very aggressive defensively. And that's one of the keys to this team. We must get better defensively. We must be a good rebounding team, 1 through 5. We've got to get better collectively as a unit defensively, whether it's man, pressure, or zone. And I think if we can improve defensively, and if we can do a good job on the boards, I think we have a chance to do some really good things this year.
Last year, Sal Biazzi netted his 1,000th point, was the Wyoming Valley Conference's most valuable player, and scored the most points in the conference. With so many accolades already achieved, the senior said he wants to do more.
Definitely want to win a district championship because I haven't done that yet. And it makes you work harder because everyone knows who you are. So when your teammates get better in that, it will help open things up for you, even if they know who you are. So I think our team should be pretty solid this year.
Both Biazzi and fellow senior Kyle Carmonic said their practices so far are going off without a hitch, and it's easy to believe since the players on the squad have been playing together for quite a few years.
I'd say about 6 of us have been playing together since we were in 3rd or 4th grade. I mean, we know each other inside and out by now. I mean, me and Sal have been together playing since we were in kindergarten, and we're 2 leaders running the court.
But with winning the conference in back-to-back years, there of course is a target on their backs, and there's a number of teams looking to take them down.
Crestwood has their core group back. They lost 1 starter, and they have a 6'5" kid who sat out last year. Wyoming Valley West has their 3 guards that were really explosive last year. They're all back. Pittston has a 6'5" kid who was first-team All-League last year, a point guard and a shooter back. Tunkhannock has 3 starters back. So each and every team in the league has something coming back that I think it's going to make it very competitive and very balanced.
And the Cougars will start their quest for 3 conference titles in a row on Friday, January 3rd against Tunkhannock. And back next with more top stories. Stay tuned.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
On the way to retirement, some people realize that work isn't really a bad thing. Some may want to start their own business one day. Our financial advisors will look at your complete financial picture, no matter where your money's invested, to create a plan designed to help you get to and through retirement. When you need a financial advisor fully invested in you, turn to us, Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Join us this week on Wellness Through Physical Therapy. Matt Rice, a therapist at Hazelton Physical Therapy, is going to explain to us what causes headaches and if you're suffering from them, how you can get well. That's coming up this week. Join us.
One had served 13 years through 2 administrations, the other one 16 years through 3 administrations. Tonight, both walked away. Ellie Tyrone has more.
2 veteran members of the Hazelton City Zoning Board resigned their seats tonight. Chairman John Poletsky and Vice Chairman Ray Bass did so after what they say was the Iannuzzi administration's unilateral overturning of a decision the board made. Now, earlier, it had denied approval for Lex Sloot to allow a Tamaqua-based youth group to use a portion of his former Printmark building on Poplar Street in the Heights. While the group was planning youth activities somewhat similar to what is already being done by the Hazelton Integration Project, that group is affiliated with a church which might have had services there from time to time. That part of the Heights is still zoned industrial, so the board rejected the application. Now, the normal procedure when someone loses a zoning board case is to appeal to county court, and you've got 45 days to do so. Poletsky and Bass said if all one has to do after losing a decision is make a phone call to Connections, there's no reason for a board.
We've never had any interference from any administration. I've served 16 years through 3 different administrations, and no administration has ever interfered with the zoning board, have ever influenced us or asked us to vote a certain way. And when we handled this case in the legal and proper way, he was denied. And when he did not go through the appeal process the proper way, the legal and proper way, we felt that this was a slap in the face to us.
I have integrity, and I look at every decision that I make to the best of my abilities for the situation according to the zoning regulations of the City of Hazelton. I don't hold any favors for anybody. I've turned down relatives before. So it's my principles are worth a lot to me, and it was a tough decision I had to make.
Mayor Joe Yannuzzi was unable to appear on camera tonight, but on the phone he told me he did not reverse the decision. He said City Solicitor Chris Slusser, citing what he termed legal precedent, said the board erred in its decision as rejecting a church in certain zoning areas is impossible. Yannuzzi also said that since the decision was in error, Sloot didn't have to return to the board for a decision. It became the purview of the city zoning officer, Rick Weck. It was he, Yannuzzi said, who made the decision. Yannuzzi also said he hasn't seen Poletsky and Bast's resignations. Nothing like this has happened in recent city history. L.A. Tyrone, WILN's Late Edition.
Well, tonight, before Poletsky and Bass resignations on the Hazelton Zoning Board, there was business to be dealt with. With an approval by the Zoning Board, work will begin tomorrow morning at the former St. Joseph's Hospital. It was back in September of this year that we told you about a nursing school and nursing home moving into the former St. Joseph's Hospital on Church Street. After tonight, it will become a reality beginning as early as tomorrow morning. In May, the Claremont Group from New York purchased the building and began designs. Tonight, Administrator and Operations Manager Kate Day sat before the zoning hearing board. She explained to us after the approval what the facility has to offer.
What we're looking to do is have the nursing school on the ground floor, a lot of resident rooms to accommodate all sorts of senior citizens. I want it to be a loving community. I don't want to abide by state minimums. I want to go up to the max of what we can do for these residents. All sorts of activities and community functions, and really be a happy place, some place that you would want to put your parents, or some place that you would say, Grandma would love this.
Day says they will begin work tomorrow, but for a final goal, they have not set one yet. She says the ultimate goal is to restore the facility to make it beautiful again. The building will be redone in 3 phases.
The ground floor of that is going to be the nursing school. It's perfect. It has huge classrooms already set up, and the top 2 floors of that will be the assisted living personal care type for the elders. The second phase would be moving into the X-shaped large hospital. What that's going to entail is the first floor as renting it out to different doctors or facilities, such as I mentioned before, a barber shop, things of that nature, to really bring life to the community in that end of town and to the residents. And from floors, we'll also do floor 2 at that time for the residents. The third phase would be moving up to the top floors 3, 4, and 5. And over time, as the need gets stronger, we'll do more and more renovations and just keep growing and making it more of a beautiful thing.
There will be additional office spaces available when the renovations are completed. 3 people who live around the hospital questioned how it would affect them and their neighbors. Day says when it comes to parking and the amount of traffic, they will not have to worry.
We have 168 parking spaces, and it's not a concern that we're going to be parking in front of people's houses. And the people that asked the question seemed really satisfied with that, and it's really going to be a positive thing for the community. I don't think you could find a better fit for that building.
Former hospital. Work is expected to begin tomorrow on the former hospital. We will keep you updated as that project continues. After a vote at Hazleton City Council tonight, there will be a $500,000 hole in the 2014 budget unless they can find a way to fill it. With a vote of 4-1, City Council failed the 2013-14 stormwater collection and management plan fee. The fee was to be $20 per equivalent runoff unit. So if you owned half an acre, you would pay the city $102 annually, 1 acre $204, and so on. Vice President of Council Keith Bast voted for the fee. We spoke with Council President Jim Perry.
Stormwater fee, if it would have been done in the middle of the year, it might have been a different story. We'd have more detail. Now I think you're pushing it through. I don't think you can collect anything. I really at this point think my reason is you wouldn't be able to, you put it in there, you wouldn't be able to collect it in time to make a difference. I mean, you're at the last month here, or by the time it gets going, and time you get a collection agency out there, I just think it should have been done a lot earlier.
Councilmember Jack Mundy agrees with Perry in that the fee should have been looked at earlier in the year. And now he, Bast, Gene Mope, and Newcoming Councilman Dave Sosar and Jeff Cassat must find a way to fill the budget hole.
This is going to create a big problem, and the previous majority that voted for it, which was Perry, Bast, and Shatter, originally put it in the budget, and they should have passed it earlier. They didn't. They passed the budget around that money, and now that money's not there, so we're going to have a hole for this year and also for next year. So I think Steve's going to have to redo even the budget for next year. I had some ideas of possibly replacing it with something. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I have some ideas of I wanted to possibly replace it with something, and now it's not going to even be there. So we're already starting out with $500,000 deficit.
Acting City Administrator Steve Hahn said that the meeting is a fee necessary for the budget to be balanced. Now the city must find a new alternative, or the newly appointed council must work with the existing council to come up with a solution. We're a governor's signature away from paying more for driver's licenses, registrations, vehicle and emission inspections, and almost everything else related to driving. The State House passed the transportation funding bill tonight. The vote was 113 to 85. Most regional state representatives voted against it. Only Dave Millard, Karen Boback, Kurt Masser, and Linda Culver voted for it. The bill raises $2.6 billion for transportation. While sold as a fix for roads and bridges, only about $1.6 billion is used for that. The balance will be spent on urban mass transit and a handful of other projects. Under driver's licenses, registrations, and the rest start rising in price in 2015 and rise every 2 years from there on out, with no cap and no end date. The bill will also raise gas taxes through the repeal of a cap on a wholesale tax. It is expected to raise the cost of a gallon of gas by 28 cents over the next few years. The bill spends more than Governor Corbett originally wanted, but indications are he will sign it. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Beth Mensinger is back with more sports here on Late Edition. But first, let's head back outside to the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. Joe?
Thank you very much, Ann. Not a lot going to be going on across our region tonight. Just a few sprinkles, a few showers, maybe mixed with a few snowflakes. But we have some cold air to talk about in our forecast. Days continue to get shorter, but if we take a look at the graphic, 1 month from now, as we go into December 21st, the days will become longer again, something I think we all can look forward to. The complete 7-day forecast coming at you in just a bit.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational, speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
Gould SureSave is proud to announce our expanded dairy department, which means a 10% increase in our dairy variety. Like our other departments, dairy is now computer controlled for temperature and food safety. With this, our 4th secondary cooling system, we now have well over 90% environmentally friendly refrigeration. New dairy door cases with LED lighting help create energy efficiency, selection, freshness, safety.
Stop by Gould SureSave and get everything you need for your family's holiday table.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date?
I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
Weatherwood is a privately owned 200-bed nursing and rehabilitation center. Nestled within the quiet town of Weatherly, PA, we offer our residents and their families tranquil and scenic views from just about anywhere in the building. We are located within minutes of Hazleton General Hospital as well as major metropolitan medical and trauma centers in the Lehigh Valley. Whispering Meadows is a 50-bed secured dementia unit within our facility. Whether you need short-term, long-term, or respite stay, call or stop by today for a tour.
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle.
Earlier this week, the field where the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders play was named the best new ballpark for 2013 by Ballpark Digest. Yesterday, we talked to President and General Manager of the Rail Riders, Rob Crane.
The award that we got for Ballpark of the Year is just incredible. It's a lot of effort went into building this fantastic facility through a lot of different people, and to win Ballpark of the Year is a true honor, and we're very humbled by it.
PNC Field, formerly known as the Lackawanna County Stadium, was built in just a year, and Crane said the new and improved stadium really caters to the fan experience.
From the 360-degree concourse to the Budweiser Rail House Bar and the Honda Homer Zone, the lawn seating, to the kids area, the whole thing is really based upon is the fan, is their experience here, and for them to come out and enjoy that. And I'm so glad that we won this award and we can share this award with our fans, but it's all about the fans. And
Crane also said PNC Field is special because so many features already there from the previous stadium just add to the experience.
The ability to build upon the same grounds that the old stadium was on was big for us. It was able to save cost and to really incorporate the mountain into the design. I think that's what really separates us, is that the mountain here with the trees and the walk-through around in our outfield concourse is unlike any other ballpark in the entire country. And I think that's what separates us.
And the Rail Riders are not sitting back on their laurels after this honor. They are also getting ready to celebrate their 25th anniversary.
Since 1989 to 2014, we're going to be celebrating 25 years. We're going to be doing 25 different giveaways over the course of the year with celebrations of our past. We've got a lot on tap for 14, and we're very excited to start up on April 10th, opening day.
Matt McGloin is looking to keep building on his breakout start for the Oakland Raiders last Sunday, as he was named the Week 12 starter for when the team plays the Tennessee Titans this Sunday. Raiders coach Dennis Allen announced it yesterday. McGloin started last week for Terrell Pryor, who started the previous 8 games. Pryor is still recovering from a sprained knee. Last week, McGloin threw for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Coach Allen told the press that he earned the right to start another game. The Phillies have hired a new pitching coach after letting Rich Doobie go. It took over 50 days and 12 candidates for the job for Philadelphia to hire Bob McClure. The 61-year-old pitched 19 seasons in the big leagues for several different teams. He was the pitching coach for the Royals for 5 seasons and coached for the Red Sox in 2012. And Prince Fielder, he's headed to the Texas Rangers. Last night, the Detroit Tigers agreed to send the all-star first baseman south, and second baseman Ian Kinsler is heading to Motown to fill his roster spot. The 29-year-old Fielder signed a 9-year deal with the Tigers 2 years ago for $214 million. This past season, he hit .279 with 25 home runs and 106 runs batted in. He'll get $138 million from the Rangers, while they will be getting $30 million to offset Fielder's salary from Texas. 31-year-old Kinsler batted .277 with 13 homers and 72 RBIs. He's guaranteed $62 million for the 4-season contract. Now let's check out our scores for tonight. It's Thursday Night Football. Drew Brees and the Saints leading Atlanta in the fourth, 17-13. In the NHL, Flyers win again, 4-1 over the Sabres. Nashville tops the Maple Leafs, and in a shootout, it's the Blues. They net the win 3-2. Carolina falls to Detroit. Chicago with the 6-3 victory, and in the third period, Rangers are up by 2 goals. In the second, Colorado and Edmonton both have 1-goal leads, and the Devils are just underway along with the Tampa Bay and San Jose game. And lastly, in the NBA, the Thunder claim victory against the Clippers, and the Bulls and the Nuggets. That one is just tipping off also. Joe's coming back next. Stay tuned.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazelton, serving the greater Hazelton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazelton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
Everyone knows Dan here at Heritage Hill. He's been devoted to our family of residents for over a decade. Experienced, nurturing, exceptional. It's what our care team is all about. Our residents enjoy personal care, homemade meals, day trips, clubs, and social activities. Shepherd's Garden, our memory care neighborhood, ensures a compassionate and secure environment. Come meet us. We're honored to share our hearts, our home, our heritage of caring. Heritage Hill Senior Community in Weatherly. Call today for your free personal tour.
Diamond quality moments. Choose Sophie Jewelers, specializing in custom diamond engagement rings, located in the Coal Creek Plaza, Route 61, St. Clair.
Well, we got a couple of showers, a couple of sprinkles throughout the state of Pennsylvania, and that's going to be the case right through the overnight hours. We'll stay above freezing. Our live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazelton. We're at 41 right now. That is the high for the day, and I really don't think it's going to go up anymore. Maybe a degree for lucky, but highly unlikely. In fact, temperatures will fall a little bit through the overnight hours. 44 at Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport, 41 in Mount Pocono, 51 in Philadelphia, 40 in Williamsport and Selinsgrove, and 41 in State College. Up in the Wyoming Valley area from Nanticoke through Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, and Lehman, your temperatures upper 30s and lower 40s. Satellite and radar we'll get to in a little bit, but there's that frontal boundary separating the milder air from the colder air. Bismarck, again, 0 degrees, 13 degrees in Denver. Some of that colder air is going to march its way into our area as we head into this upcoming weekend. And you can see where that frontal boundary is. Ahead of it, we have the rain and precipitation. Behind it, we have the snow that's actually falling in Omaha up through Minneapolis. Some cold air on the move, and it's going to start to get here as we go into the weekend. And it's going to be very cold across our region going into the weekend, especially the second part of the weekend and early next week. That front will have passed, and as it has passed through our area, it's really going to bring in some Arctic air, very cold air. In addition, another storm system down toward the south, making its way toward the north and east, but that one at this point looks like it will just miss us. It should stay toward the south and east of our area. Maybe a few snow flurries, a few snow showers at best, but that's about it. Take a look at those numbers on the extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, the division of Arc Electric. We're in the 40s and then in the 30s, and then we're in the 20s for Sunday and Monday.
All right, well, we are still keeping our fingers crossed for that parade.
It looks like it'll be
Saturday.
dry at this point, but kind of cold.
All right,
Just
well,
one.
that's kind of cold.
Okay, it will be cold.
It'll be pretty cold.
Well, kind of cold compared to what it's going to be on Sunday and Monday. Let's put it that way.
It's all relative.
All right, well then I'll just keep my fingers crossed that it stays a little bit above freezing. Maybe. All right. We'll have more details on that parade tomorrow on Late Edition, but we will see you 5:30 Topic A tomorrow and Late Edition at 10. Have a wonderful night.